it's Mia Lammers of Invoked101.
And I'm Nod Lammers of Invoked101.
Taking charge for once. Anyways, a lot of people have been asking us what are some of our favorite Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and we never really seem to have just one answer, so we decided to do a whole video about some of our cards. A lot of these cards have very personal stories to each of us. We have quite a few on the table. You can't really see them because we want to keep them secret for now. But we thought, why not make a video and explain some of the cards and why they're our favorites personally to us. Some of them are just normal everyday cards that you don't really think about, but they're important to us because of something personal in our lives. And I think it's important to share that because this community needs to know more about why Yu-Gi-Oh is important, not just to compete and to win, but important because of like the connections it can bring between people. So without further ado, I think I'm going first, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think you start.
Alright, you go ahead.
I'll grab my pile.
Alright, so once again, continuing with just, silliness. My first card, I'm going to turn around for you, is Naturia's Strawberry. And the reason this is such an important card to me is because it's not the first deck I ever had. I think it's actually the second that I actually, had and I played. It's the one that I actually played the most. And it's important to me because this is the card that brought me and some of my two bestest friends for over a year together, because this was the card that if it ended up in my hand, I would say, oh, you guys lost. I have an Naturia Strawberry. And they'd be like, you're right, I lost. Next game. And it always made me laugh because I knew I was a horrible player. I had only been playing for about 2, maybe 3 months at the time. I was awful. So just to have fun and feel like this game was enjoyable it was great to just be able to laugh with some friends. And so that's why this is the first card. This is first my favorite.
Alright, you want me to go?
Yeah.
Alright, so my first card in my pile is not a card per se, but it has brought up some pretty funny stories. And that is my Invoked101 level 4 Spellcaster Vanilla. It says it's a token. But
this was my idea.
This was the idea that you came up with. So it's our Invoked101 logo, which is just Alistair in front of the invocation symbol. And I remember the first time we brought this out, this was at the Tulsa Regional. Because I had just printed it off like the night before, and I put it in the front of my binder because I knew I was going to be trading all the time. So I brought my binder with me, put this in the front, and its flavor text is, whenever this card hits the field, you must subscribe. So whenever people would open my binder, they'd be like, what the hell is this? I'd be like, that's my Invoked101 card, that's my YouTube channel, and it says you gotta subscribe.
Hey, you, watching the video. Yes, you. You have to subscribe. It says it in flavor text right there. You gotta subscribe now. Click that button.
But no, I just think it's a really funny little token, and I don't get to use it all that often because it actually it sits in the front of my binder still because I think that's the most appropriate place for it.
I think this is the first card you and I created together.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah.
We've done some other cards. We've done a lot of field centers together, but this was the
first actual card. The
Yeah.
first time we printed off at least.
Mm-hmm. All right, you go next.
All right, keeping true with Naturia's, I have Leo. I love this card simply just because it makes me happy. That's it. Every time I look at it, it makes me smile. That's why I like this card. And I think that should be enough, I don't think you need like an advanced story or I could only find this card in this state and I went all the way there to get it. I don't think you need anything like that. If a card makes you happy, it makes you happy.
I have stories like that about a bunch of cards.
Oh yeah, but no, I know.
I only found it in Tulsa, or I only saw it in Joplin, Missouri. All right, so
I crossed deserts and seas to find this card.
I marched through a mountain of ice and snow to get to Krebons.
I kissed a sleeping princess. I went all the way.
All right, my next set of cards is just because I really like it. It's one of my favorite authors' archetypes, and it's not like a true archetype, but they are tied together, and that is the Elder Entity, Outer Entity, and Old Entity cards. So we have there's Norden and Natis, which are the fusion ones. You have Haster, who is my favorite of the bunch, Chatuga, and then you have the competitively viable ones, which are Narla, who everyone knows as the AI card that the Necros deck uses, and then Chatuga, which is the one that people use to stop hand traps now, and then Dreamland, which is their field spell, and Forbidden Tetrahedron, which is I believe this is supposed to represent the Necronomicon, but I could be wrong. But yeah, these are all H.P. Lovecraft themed extra deck monsters, and I think that they are just amazing. I actually really hope we get a Link 2 and 3 to go with them, and maybe another spell card. But I would think it would be really cool if they, they updated the archetype to have another 2 monsters for it from the for Links. But yeah, I really like this archetype just because it's based on one of my favorite authors. Like, I could tell you stories about Nyarlathotep and Azathoth and the Yellow King and Chitugo, which is Cthulhu's son. I could tell. I have all that stuff like in my brain, and I think it's really cool. But yeah, so I was really happy when they released everyone, and I finally got all of them.
So my next card is the card that actually brought me into the game. It's Revendred Slayer. Okay, so this deck kind of sucks now. We all understand that. Like, you can still kind of play it, but you definitely, it's dead, which is funny to say about zombies, but that's not the point. The point is that without this card, I probably wouldn't be playing today. I definitely wouldn't have actually clicked in my brain, maybe I should learn more about this. Because for 3 straight months, I was trying to learn how to play this game, and I didn't like it, and I didn't enjoy it, and I didn't see the point. I thought the rules were stupid. And then one day, Nod called me and told me about Vendreds, and I got so excited. I thought they were the coolest thing, and so whenever he was originally going to build them for him, so I kind of felt bad that I kind of took that away from him, but if he didn't let me have this deck, then I probably wouldn't be playing today at all, because I absolutely loved the chemistry this deck had whenever it first came out, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And what really sucked was in those 3 months, I had just started to slowly figure out what Yu-Gi-Oh! Was, and then Links came in, and so that completely was just like, nope, I'm done. Flip table, run out the room, throw a fit. I didn't like Yu-Gi-Oh! At that point at all. And then like Revendred Slayer and the rest of the Vendreds came out, and I fell in love with Yu-Gi-Oh! So without this card, I wouldn't be playing today, and I love it. No matter how bad this deck is, it's my favorite card.
Speaking of favorite cards and cards that got us to love the game.
Oh god.
Coming up is my secret rare Cyber Dragons and my Breakers of Shadow Infinity. So I have a rule. I do not play Infinities that are not Breakers of Shadow first editions. Because
what a snob.
I know. But these are my 3 secret rare Cyber Dragons. I remember getting back into the game. When I first got back into the game, I saw Cyber Dragon and I thought he looked so cool. And I remember getting bodied by this card when I was a kid, and I was just like, I have to play Cyber Dragons, and at the time the structure deck had come out a year ago. This was like right when Infinity had come out, so I was gonna play Cyber Dragons. I learned that Infinity existed, and I was like, I gotta go get Infinity. So I spent way too much money on Breakers of Shadow packs. I spent $120 on Breakers of Shadow packs. Didn't pull a single Infinity, and we'll come back to Breakers of Shadow on my next card. But my friend, my best friend at the time, bought me a Cyber Dragon Infinity for $25, and it means the world to me. And that's what this one is. This is his that he got me. And then the 3 Cyber Dragons are just there because it took me 2 years to complete the 3 secret rare Cyber Dragons that in the artwork that I like. So I remember I got one in Iowa. I got one, I think I bought one, and then I got the other one in a trade from where we're from, which you guys know we're from Arkansas. So yeah, so I found all of them out in the wild, except for the one that I bought. But yeah, it feels good.
You said out in the wild. No, I thought it was those nature documentaries.
Of Cyber Dragon?
With the Australian guy. It's just like...
Right there's a Cyber Dragon. I'm gonna go... Oh no, I'm a Mega Fleet. But yeah, and Cyber Dragon was the card that got me back into the game, so...
So continue with cards that just make us happy. I love them. They're so cute.
It's the sheep.
Who doesn't love the sheep? Okay, actually, I know somebody who doesn't love the sheep.
Oh, shame on them.
The blue one and the white one are my favorites.
I like the blue one too.
I just love how happy they are, and yet like they're so annoying whenever somebody's like, yeah, scapegoat, and it's like, thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's just they're just stupid enough to be the most annoying things in the world, but I absolutely love them because I think they're adorable and they're my favorites.
Shockingly useful too. I'm glad that Scapegoat's still in the game. I'm glad that it's only semi-limited.
Look at how pretty.
Alright, so I said we were going to come back to Breakers of Shadow, and that's what we're coming back to. This is a first ed Breakers of Shadow Trap Tricks of Felicia. This was the only secret rare I pulled from $120 of Breakers of Shadow packs. I remember one day I was out with my friend, and he was like, hey, there's a Breakers of Shadow pack here, it's discounted. And I was like, you know me, I can't buy Breakers of Shadow. Me and it don't have a very good relationship history. And he goes, you know what, why don't you just buy the pack? And I was like, you know what, it's one pack, sure. So I bought it, and I get in the car. It's I made sure it was a first ed pack, and then I get in the car and he's like, go on, open it. And I was like, fine. I open it, and inside was Rafflesia, and I was like, take that, Breaks of Shadow. I finally got a secret rare from you, and it's a decent secret rare. It's not a strike. It wasn't the infinity I wanted, but it is a Xyz monster that I did use for a good amount of time after I got it.
So this is one of my favorite cards, and every time I'm able to get this card out, I get this exact version of it. This was given to me from Alpha Penguin Soldier. Shout out to him.
Oh, man.
I love this card. Like this, it's hard to see in this light. It's a lot prettier in person, I swear. But Queen Tiramisu, like, I love Madolches. Madolches is another little favorite of mine that I just absolutely love and adore, and no matter how many times I play it, I can't really get mad, and it just makes me love the game. In those moments where I'm like really upset at like the meta or the community or just going to locals, or I'm stressed because this game gets really hard, I just play Madolches because they make me really happy. And you know, Nod says the same thing about Speed Droids, and I completely agree with him. There are some decks out there that you just play and you fall in love with the game like, over and over again. And Madolches are definitely one of those, and Queen Tiramisu is currently the best XZ monster, and honestly, I love her, and I love how much she boosts the deck, and how easy she is to get out. And so, I don't know, I love that she's the queen of Madolches, you know?
Still good in 2018, too. Like, it's one of those, she's one of those cards that just...
I feel bad, because she looks really bad on camera, but she's...
It's a gorgeous ultimate rare.
Okay, maybe, there we go. That's a little bit better, kinda. But yeah, no, it looks so much better in person.
Alright, my next set of cards is another collection of cards. And this is my collection of secret rare Signer Dragons. So to start, we have Stardust. It's all my Signer Dragons, but the original ones that actually appeared in the anime are all secret rare. So you got Red Dragon Archfiend, Stardust, Blackwing, Black Rose, Ancient Fairy, rest in peace. Power Tool.
Those look so good on camera.
I think, yeah, Power Tool is the last one there. So, really? That's it? Oh yeah, there's only 6 of them. But yeah, so there's all those guys. And then if for those who say Power Tool is not a Signer Dragon, which I know some people, there's a whole debate about it. Lifestream Dragon doesn't come secret, so I have an ultimate rare version. So if you believe that. And then I also have the manga versions of them. So I have the Stardust Spark, the Hot Red Dragon, Black Feather Dark Rage, Moonlight, Pixie, and Mecha. So I have all of them. I don't have the actual ultra rares of Stardust, Hot, and Moonlight, but I do have the High Speed Riders versions of them. They're all first ed to my knowledge. I think they're gorgeous. The manga ones don't mean too much. They're just really nice to have because they round out the set. But the Signer Dragons themselves are very cool, and I love having all of them in secret rare. First of all, it's a beautiful collection. I get asked all the time, are you trading them? And the answer is no, because this one the Red Dragon Archfiend took the longest to find. I actually, Black Rose didn't take too long. This one I found in some bulk. This one I think was also in some bulk. This one I ended up getting in Iowa of all places, and I think that's where I got the Blackwing as well. But just having all of them, I remember getting up on a Saturday morning and watching Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, and I don't know. I don't know what it was about the Signer Dragons that made me want to collect them, but I have them all in secret rare, which makes me happy. And I have their manga counterparts too. All right.
Okay, so some of my favorites. These are just collectibles. Nod actually gave them to me. I saw them in a friend's binder, and I thought they were really neat because I'd never seen them before. Because I don't watch the anime. I didn't know these cards existed. And so when I saw them in a friend's binder, and he was like, "Oh, I have some. I can give them to you." I was like, "Yes. Yes, please." Because I honestly thought they were really neat. And that's basically all I have to say. Is there another card that makes me think, "Oh, that's really cool." It makes me happy.
Definitely some of the most unique promo cards in Yu-Gi-Oh!
I just think they're really cool because, like, they're just pictures on cards. And, like, in the mangas, that's all they are, too. It's just pictures on cards. And I think this is just really neat, you know? And they're pretty cool looking, to be honest.
All right, the next one I have is my absolute favorite card of all time. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, first ed.
I forgot to mention that some of these cards we share in common.
Oh, yeah.
Just that, you know, he owns them or I own them, but we all share them.
First edition Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon from Shining Victories. I remember going to Walmart at 6 a.m. with my friend, and he literally puts his arm behind the shelf and drags out all the blister packs. And in the car, we're opening them up, and he pulls a Crystal Wing, and we didn't know card values at the time, and I was like, "Oh, that's a Speed Droid card." And he's like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's a Wind Synchro Dragon, of course." And so he trades it to me for I don't know what, and then 2 months later, we're playing at locals because we had finally started becoming a little bit more meta, and it's an $80 card, and he's like, "I hate you so much," and I was like, "I love it." And it has been one of my favorite cards just because of how many times I've used it, how many times I've summoned it, the deck that I play it in. I was able to play it in ABCs, I was able to play it in Deities, I was able to play it in Speed Droids. Anything that I could put this card in, I put it in there. And I love it. It is my favorite card of all time. It helped me top... this mat is a Shining Victories Crystal Wing mat, and this is the one that's going to be in all the videos.
You're welcome.
Yeah, she got it for me. So if that tells you how much I love this card, I love it. I know she really likes him too.
I think he's a really pretty card.
He is gorgeous.
I think the funny part was whenever you said, this whenever we were trying to become more meta, and it's like, you mean be less scrub?
Yeah. But yeah, so that's my Crystal Wing story, and he helped me beat Zoo in Zoo format, so with Speed Droid.
So I have a lot of cards that are my favorites just because they make me happy. We're getting towards the cooler ones I actually have stories with again, but this is another one that just makes me happy. Who doesn't love this card? It has like 1,000 chins.
I didn't know you put that in your pile.
Isn't he cute though?
Oh, I love him.
I like him because, okay, so Nod calls me Noodle sometimes, and when this card came out, I heard somebody call it Danger Noodle, and I fell in love with it instantly. Also, when this card was revealed on YG Organization, I sent it to Nod, and I was like, "Did you draw this?" Because in high school, he used to draw everything with like 13 chins. And I thought it was the ugliest art. But this is the cutest little fat snake, and I love it.
Oh, man.
I remember he went up to his friend, and he's like, "Hey, Dan, I drew you." And he's like, "I don't want you to draw me ever again." But yeah, so, I mean, like, who doesn't love this adorable fat little snake? Like, aw, it's so cute, right? Just makes me happy.
Alright, next up is two of the same cards with two different stories.
This is another one we share in common.
So this is Invocation. This is a secret rare Invocation, first ed from Fusion Summoners. This, I'm always get confused which one it is, and I should have had her do something to the back of it. But Mio here, when I was first trying to build Invoked, Yeah, I only had one invocation that my cousin had pulled, and he had given it to me because he knew I was trying to build it.
You didn't even have it at that point.
I didn't. No, I had the one.
No,
No?
Because you didn't get it until after I bought this one.
Wow.
Yeah, you had like 0 invocations.
Oh my god, I also didn't. No, and I had one Mechaba.
Yeah.
I had one Mechaba. And as you guys know, Invoked is my favorite deck of all time.
I couldn't tell.
I know, right? If you guys don't know, there you go. Now you know. And she got me this one. She got me one of them, and I have a super, and I have another one that I'm about to show off. But I refuse to play anything other than the secret rares because I don't know which one she got me. So I play all 3. So because it means a lot to me. And then the next one, and then the next one is the ultimate rare invocation, which was sent to us by a fan, and that was super dope of him to do. All right, and that's that for those.
So my next card is another fan favorite, Hollow Hollow. I love this card because this is actually the first card I ever collected, and I'm not like super crazy. I mean, we know somebody whose wife has like an entire binder of nothing but Hollow Hollows. I don't have that many. I just have a playset. But he was the first card that I was just like, I need this card just because I like it. Not because it's in a deck, not because it has a special personal relation to me. It's just because I thought it was adorable and I loved it, and I love the little poem on it, the little flavor text. So this is like the first card I ever collected, and that's why it's really important to me.
See you, Tuner.
Yes, he is.
Oh, wow. All right, so my next card is Ultimate Rare Destiny Hero Dasher. This is a very cool card to me. Destiny Heroes was my very first deck when I was little. It was the first like set of cards I put together because I was like, oh, they have the same name. So I put them together, and this was my... So this was that was my first deck I built, and... This is an Ultimate Rare Dasher. Dasher was, for a very long time, my favorite Destiny hero, and I think he still kind of is. I think his effect is still pretty useful today, being able to special summon a D hero from your hand if you draw one. But yeah, this is just the Ultimate Rare one. I don't play him or anything. He's just nice to own.
So my next card is Saryuja Skuldred. Other than the fact that it's a really, really good card, this was the first card I ever traded for, and I traded it off of Nod because I had, what was it?
Borreload.
Borreload. I pulled Borreload in our Mega Tin opening. You should definitely go check that out. And he was like, I need this card, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And then he's like, can I please have it? And I was like, you can trade me for it. And so he traded me Saryuja for it because he already had Saryuja, and I thought it was a really cool card. And I very much regretted making the trade because he used it against me. And I was like, I want my card back. But this was the very first card I ever traded for. And I only traded for it like, what, a few months ago, like 3 months ago or something?
It was whenever the tins came out.
It was a while ago, but not like too long ago. And actually, yesterday I made my very first online trade, so hopefully that goes well. But I'm getting more into like, I got my first binder and it's starting to fill up, and I'm starting to make trades. I'm really excited about getting into the whole card trading and learning about like how valuable cards are side of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I think that's something really important to the game. And I'm really excited about it.
You just got the biggest smile. All right. My next set of cards is two Karibos.
Kariboys.
Yeah. These are my pretty Karibos. We're getting into my kind of rarer cards now. So these are my Karibos. These are both video game promo Karibos. I don't know which video games they're from, so if you're looking for them, I don't know which to tell you they're from. But I remember my buddy, he had a Karibo deck, and that's actually how I came into possession of these. He had a Karibo deck, and I remember he was like, I want some nice Karibos. So he bought this one to have a nice Karibo, and also because I called it Chicken Karibo, and he thought it was funny. So he bought the nicest version of Chicken Karibo he could find. And then because he knew it would, I don't know why, but he bought a Winky Face Karibo, and it just makes me, like, it made me angry for a really long time because I was like, what's he so smug about? Like, I don't know what it was. But I also know that Mio is part of like a Karibo cult, so she probably looks at these and is like, those are some tasty looking snacks.
No.
But yeah, no, I like them though. They are definitely some value. They are unique. You usually won't find these in someone else's binder.
Now I'm wondering, what are you gonna cook chicken Karibo in? So the next card I have is strictly very personal. It's Cyber Laser Dragon, and it's not even my card. It's Nod's card, and it was the very, very first card he ever owned. And for a while, he liked to do this thing where on his binder he would take like stickers that had price tags on it and just stick it on his sleeve because he thought it would be hilarious. And some people actually believe that was the cost of the cards, which made it even more funny. But this is the very first card that he ever owned, and I think it's really special to like keep that somewhere like close. And he actually lost it for a while, and then we found it and I stuck it in my binder because I don't know, it's just Nod's really important to me. And this game is extremely important to him, and it's helped him so much in his confidence and in my confidence too. And it helps with, you know, him and his friends getting closer together, and it's just, this game is really important. And so having his very first card in my binder is an honor, in all honesty.
And it goes back to Cyber Dragons too.
Yeah, true.
All right, this is my last little stack of cards, and these to me, these are pretty valuable to me, and it's something. If you follow our Instagram, you would have seen these. We recently just completed them, and that is my JUMP set of the Shonen Jump God cards. These are not the JMPS versions. These are JMUP or JUMP. Yeah, JUMP, and we have, I believe this one's 37, 45, and 61, I think is what their numbers are. Mm-hmm. These two are near mint. Sadly, Obelisk is moderate to damaged.
Worse for wear.
Yeah. So a little bit of story time behind them. I do have another Obelisk. This is the movie pack Obelisk, which if he was not gold rare, you can bet he would be the one sitting right there. But he does. This one matches. And I like to keep the movie pack with them. But anyway, not the movie pack, the movie promo card. You got this card from seeing the movie. But story time. When I was a younger lad, I got Raw in a trade because I thought it was the coolest card ever because it had the autograph. But I never summoned it. I could never play it because I thought it was a really bad card. And he is, but he's one of my favorite. He is my favorite out of the God cards. And then, so I had him for a really long time, and then when my friend quit the game, or quit the game, he just stopped playing for a really long time. He's gotten back into it since. I bought a Elemental Hero deck off him, and then he gave me a bunch of his bulk, a bunch of his decks and cards and whatnot, and in there was a Shonen Jump Obelisk, and I was surprised to find it in there, but it is mine. You're not getting it back now. Sorry, Devin. It's part of the set. And it was a little worse for wear, but I knew it went with my Raw, so I was like, that's exciting. And so I set out on kind of a small goal. It was one of those, if I find it, I want it, and I'll try to get it goals of where do I get a Jump Slifer? And no one, I've only ever seen this card once in my lifetime, of playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, of seeing Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. I've only ever seen it once in person. I've seen Raw plenty of times, and I've seen Obelisk quite a few times. I've only ever seen Slifer once, and that one Slifer that I've ever seen is the Slifer on camera. And that's because when we went to a store recently on a little trip, and I told Mio about it and how I had the other two that went with him, and she bought them for me for Hanukkah. And it means a lot to me. Because it completes the set. Having all three of them to me makes the value of all of them shoot up, especially when the two are near mint. So I guess the next goal is to get a near mint Obelisk at some point, or at least a nicer Obelisk. But I really do love I love these God cards. Like, I'm not a big fan of I'm sorry, I'm going on for a long time. I'm not a big fan of the gods themselves, but I love these artworks. And I know Mio really likes the Slifer artwork as well.
I wasn't complaining about time. I was pointing at the camera because they look really good.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. Slifer especially is very beautiful.
Personally, my favorite.
Mm-hmm. And then my favorite over here is Raw, who looks a little not as impressive, and Obelisk, who has barely any foiling, unfortunate for an ultra rare. But they do go together. They are matching, and I couldn't have. I can't thank her enough for helping me complete this legendary set.
So my next card, it's not even really a Yu-Gi-Oh card, but it's a UDS Judge token, and I got this at the first UDS that I ever judged and TO'd at, and it just kind of happened that way because I think it was a pretty small UDS, and the people that were hosting it knew absolutely nothing about Yu-Gi-Oh, so I was like, I can set up brackets and stuff really easily. And so he's like, okay, you can do it. And then since there was no official judge, I was just like, that's mine now, right? And he gave it to me. So officially not a judge, but it's still one of the coolest cards, and it has like a really fun memory. And I thought it was like super awesome to be a TO because I felt like I was like, yes, I have the power, you know? And then now we actually host our very own locals at and I literally just blanked on it.
Chaos Games.
Chaos. I literally just blanked on the name, and I feel so bad. But we host our own locals at Chaos Games, where he's the judge. Well, judge.
I'm the best thing they got.
And I'm the TO, but let's be honest, I'm the judge.
I actually won this UDS.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I didn't rig that.
Yeah, that was not rigged. I won it fair and square by using sneak peek cards for Cyber Dragons.
Because the people in charge didn't say we couldn't use
them.
They
didn't tell me I couldn't use Cyber Dragons, so I was over there using like a Cyber Rev system.
Everyone was using the sneak peek cards.
People were using Boral
Sword
as well.
It was a completely fair win.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It was just, this is one of the funnest moments, and I absolutely love having this card because, like, you hardly see anyone with this card. Ooh, that was a flash, I'm sorry. You hardly see anyone with this card, and I just think it's really cool, like, little trinket to have. Mm-hmm. And then for our last and final card, or at least mine, because I can.
Yes. The 20th Secret Rare Ruin.
We pulled this out of one single pack.
Yep.
There's 1 in 12 cases, and we pulled it out of one pack, and it was probably the most amazing moment. Now I'd keep saying it would have been better if it was Demise, and, you know, I'm not going to disagree, but it's still, like...
It's gorgeous.
It's so pretty. It's so pretty.
It's for a deck that you really like too. Mm-hmm. You like the Ruin Demise deck, and so it's a pretty fitting secret rare, especially when it's a 1 in a million. You know, like
this was a once in your lifetime pull, and some people you don't even get it in their lifetime. So like this was just so amazing for us to pull it, and I think we pulled it out of one of our box openings.
Rare Candy Club.
Yeah, Rare Candy Club box opening. That was really fun. I thought it was fun.
If they ever get a big Yu-Gi-Oh box, I would definitely like it if they would send us one. So, hey, Rare Candy Club.
But anyways, so this was the last card. I just think it's so beautiful, and the camera does not catch how amazing this card looks. It's unbelievably perfect. I've yet to take it out of the sleeve ever. It kind of sits in my binder right in the middle to make sure no crumbs accidentally get in. Not that there would ever be crumbs, because I keep my binder like pristine because I know this card is in it. But I love this card so much, and I just think it's so beautiful. I
think we've reached the end of our card journey.
Yeah, we should put some of our cards up.
Okay. Well.
So yeah. These were some of our favorite cards. Some of them were a combination of just everything.
But we have a lot of favorite cards. There's a lot of cards that have meaning to us, and it's definitely fun to take a look at the more sentimental side of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because a lot of people think of Yu-Gi-Oh! As this big competitive mess. You know, where people are like, oh, well, I only play this deck because it wins, or I only play this deck because it's cheap, or etc., etc. But, make Nichiria meta again. So it's really nice to kind of sit back and take a look at some of our favorite cards, and cards that just, like, make us happy, cards we just like the artwork of, and stuff like that. Like, sure, some of these do have value to them. Of course, Tiramisu, the 20th Secret Rare, the set of the God cards in the back, you know, they all have value to them, but honestly,
this video is it's less about the price card on it and more about what they mean to us. And I think the most amazing part of this video, at least for me, was going through our journey, because I've only been playing for a little over a year and he's been playing like 5 or 6 years. And we each had cards that were from the very beginning of our Yu-Gi-Oh journey and like learning more about this game. And so I think it's amazing when somebody's just like, yeah, straight up, this is my favorite card. Like, Nod can go, Crystal Wing is my favorite card. I can't do that. I have so many favorites. And I think it's really important to find those little cards that you just kind of connect with, either because something important happened with that card, or it makes you smile. Because there's nothing better in Yu-Gi-Oh! Than being able to smile.
Anyways, I want to thank everyone for watching this video. We have a Patreon in the description below. If you guys want to help us out, it gives you access to the Discord server, gives you access to other things on said Discord server, and if you go high enough, you can even get a custom Invoked 101 mat. As well as, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and you know what? In the comments, why don't you tell us what some of your favorite cards are? Give us like a top three.
Or, just tell us if you shared some of our cards in common.
True.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Bye!
We'll see you in the next video.